joining me right now is David Shavzin, and he is a co-founder of the Safe Teen Driving Club. It is a big year, really, for Georgia drivers, and we've been talking about people that have been driving a while and not following the rules, but what you really focus on is teen drivers and getting them into the driving pool safely so that they know what they're about to get into.
Yeah, it certainly is, Martha. The Safe Teen Driving Club, we're focused on teens and helping parents and teens with the tools, the services, the education, the background that they do need to get on the roads more safely. And yeah, I think it is a lot different than when I grew up.
Well, when I was in high school, we had driver ed at the school. To me, and I am not a big government person, but one of the goals of government schools should be to prepare students to be out in the world. 99.5% of students are going to drive, and I pulled that number out, but it's almost all. It seems like that should be a part of the curriculum.
Yes, it really ought to be. One can argue that it should be in the schools outside, paid for separately, but when you come down to it, first of all, for 15 to 20-year-olds, the number one cause of death is car crashes. In 2005, across the country, we saw 3,374 young drivers die, 2,107 passengers, and another 2,523 pedestrians, people in other cars, people on bikes. And so it's a problem that has to require some kind of action.
So that's close to 9,000 young people taken out of our society. And, I mean, that's incredible.
It is. Statistics go on and on. There's 27 Georgians die every month on the roads as a result of a teen crash. Those are teens and adults, but all coming from teen drivers. The risk factors are some of the obvious things, the seat belts and the other teens in the car, as you say, the distractions, playing with the radio. But it also comes back to training. And as you say, we don't have it in the schools anymore, in the public schools. And yeah, I have a 17-year-old who's in the middle of learning to drive. And talking to other parents, a lot of the schools out there are not doing the training for the 21st century.
You have got to, as parents, along with a lot of other things you plan for your children, you've got to plan to train your children to drive.
Yeah, plan to train, and it has to be a continual type of prospect as well. We tend to send our kids, even if the driver's ed is outside the school, we send them to the school, they do the training, they do their 30 hours, and we tend to let them go and not follow up. Sometimes it often comes back to a parenting issue. We talk to parents sometimes who are just anxious to get their kids driving so they don't have to do the chauffeur routine. And it's just too dangerous out there. It's too complicated. Children at 15 and 16 don't have the experience. If you talk to the experts on brain development, the brain is not fully developed until your early 20s. And there's a big piece missing there on judgment. So the parenting issue really starts for driving at 15 and 16 as they're learning and really needs to continue on.
Let's go to Steve in Gainesville, who's got a question for our guest, David Shavzin from Safe Teen Driving Club. Hi, Steve.
Hey, good morning. My 14-year-old will be 15, and of course he is absolutely itching to learn how to drive. So his mother and I have sat down and kind of come up with a basis of what we expect of him to drive. And help him through that. Is there any kind of thing on the market that we could follow that would, better prepare him than what we've come up with ourselves? Is there any kind of publication that we could find that would kind of give us some guidelines of
That's a great question, and I know you can answer it, David.
First of all, we started talking around the new Joshua's law in the state, and if you go to the Department of Driver Services website, they've got some excellent materials. In fact, one of the ways that children can get their license now at 16 and avoid taking the outside class, you can do a parent-driven, parent-managed training.
And David, we're up against a hard break here. Thanks so much for staying with us on the Martha Zoller Show. And we're talking to David Shavzin. He is the co-founder of Safe Teen Driving Club. And he's had more than 20 years of experience in nonprofit, small business, and large corporate environments. But I got to tell you, David, I think this is probably the most important issue you've ever been involved in, because if we can make headway as parents and concerned citizens on teen driving, and that doesn't mean taking privileges away from from a law standpoint, I think the law has gone about as far as it can go. We got to be sure that parents are helping to enforce those laws and enforcing them and being responsible parents.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a matter of being, I think, responsible parents, understanding where your children are. There's a few other things that I would mention. The parents and teens need to talk about driving, talk about the dangers. One of the things that we recommend, and we've actually got one of these on our website, it's a Safe Teen Driving Pledge, and basically it's a document that parents and teens can put together, can add to, that addresses issues about when they're going to be out, who they're going to be without, who's going to be in the car with them, what the curfews are, things about alcohol, drug, and so on. And it provides a couple of things. It's a document for the parents to sit down and talk, which we often don't take time to do. It also shows the teens that the parents really do care about what they're doing. And we encourage parents and teens to sign the document together, but also go back to it and review it on a regular basis.
Well, and I think, too, we're not bashing teens here. There are a lot of good teen drivers out there, and they need to be good drivers because of the other crazy drivers that are out there, too. It's not just the teen driver that's the problem.
No, it is everybody. And we talk particularly in the Atlanta area here where everything is just crazy. The population is increasing dramatically. The highways, the kids just don't have the experience on the highways from its defensive driving standpoint. It's not just the teens. But we do want to provide parents with all the tools we possibly can. Your earlier caller had asked about training, and I wanted to mention the website for the Department of Driver Services, which is where parents can pull down a PDF, which is a parent-teen driving guide that goes into detail. That's www.dds.ga.gov, and that document is extremely thorough. The Teen Driving Pledge for parents and teens is at our website. That's safeteendrivingclub.org. We also have all kinds of reference material for parents to take and look at the problem. We don't believe that parents really understand the dangers out there, what's really going on in terms of causes of accidents. We just encourage parents to get educated themselves and learn and understand.
And to understand that once that teen has their license, you have to continue parenting them as far as restrictions. Just because the law says that your teen can drive hither and yon, you know what your teen's capability is in driving, and that you have to continue to set boundaries as far as where they can go, what time they can be out, how far from home they can go, what kind of driving they can do. And I know we hate this as parents, but it's not over just because they have their license. You got to keep going.
No, exactly. And we've talked to a lot of parents who have different perspectives on these things in terms of monitoring their kids. One of the challenges we always face is, for example, one of our products that we sell, there's a couple different GPS units that parents can actually use to help monitor their kids, keep them safe on the roads. And we do hear parents say that they're not sure they want to go that route, but we take a look at what's going on, the numbers of deaths on the roads, and we just believe parents need to take care of their teens. It's probably the most important thing.
Well, and I'd be one of those parents that would be reluctant to do that unless I was given a reason to do that, like if they broke curfew or something like that. But I understand. I think the tools should be out there for parents to make decisions about, and that's what I'm all about. Parents making their own decisions about their children and doing what's best, because I don't believe that parents don't want what is best for their children. And I'm not suggesting that all these teen drivers that get killed are because their parents are irresponsible. What I'm suggesting is parents have to do everything they can. You would hate to have a terrible accident happen with your child and kind of know in your heart that you could have done more. And that's really what we want to avoid.
That's exactly it. It's putting them in the best possible situation to avoid those things. One thing that we talked about on break briefly, but just simply the selection of a car. So often we see young teens, new drivers, in vehicles that can go 150 miles an hour. And I think back when I was growing up, I had a car that it was just a monster. It was like a 72 New Yorker. I could not have gotten hurt in that thing. And
now, I like the idea of tank cars, that's for sure. Hey, give them the website one more time, David.
It's safeteendrivingclub.org.
And we appreciate you being with us. It is safeteendrivingclub.org.